We are doing a reading about Roaring Kitty today, and his other name is known as Keith, which I'll probably refer to both of those names during this experience. What makes Roaring Kitty frustrated in life? Well, maybe trying to prove that he knows. Prove that he can go harder, better, faster, stronger without even being asked. That's definitely going to make him frustrated in life. What can possibly be something that he does is he puts on this mask because nobody knows the real Roaring Kitty. Nobody knows the real Keith. If they're going to say anything about that person, they're really saying it about the mask. And he probably is going to try to not rock the boat, try to prove that he's a good person by holding on to things that no longer serve him, people, places, things, and experiences. That'll make him frustrated. Some other things that will make him frustrated are trying to understand his direction, trying to understand his identity in love. If he tries to force that, that's going to be something that he ends up frustrated with. Another part that could make him frustrated is how he markets or how he shows himself out into the world. Maybe he tries to go above and beyond to be seen, where all he has to do is be himself. He will be seen. A lot of different things can make him frustrated. Answering people's questions that don't matter to him, so therefore he's spending energy on things that don't matter rather than on things that do matter. And he only knows what he knows, and that's all right. Lots of different things that could make him frustrated, but he's kind of like this self contained being. He doesn't really go out beyond himself to get what he needs from other people. He's really self sufficient. He is a person who has this focus and this inaction about him, which really allows this concentration to come out from him. He really has this determination within him. And he really does know which risks to take. If he's allowing life to come at him. And what I mean by that is that he doesn't need these 1, 2, 3 step plans on how he's going to get things done. People, places, things, and experiences are going to come towards him, and then it's for him to react from that if he's going to participate or not. And his values are going to show through his powerful being. But if we're going to talk about his purpose in life, I know we usually never head here. He is a ruler. I mean, that kind of makes sense. He's a person who has this grace about him. Even though he exaggerates things, he's here to be this gatherer of something and have these realizations about those things that he's gathered. So, one thing that's really important to him, as said before, is that he is the gatherer. And he does it in this really innocent way. He doesn't do it in this cautious way or this progressive way. He does this in an innocent type of way or this kind of eccentric, out there kind of way. But he has the details. Just because he has details doesn't mean it's the correct details. So that means that he has to have these realizations. What realizations? Well, there's going to be a lot of mysterious things coming through his head. Things that just popped in there just because. And when people ask him, where did that come from? He's not going to know. He's just going to be like, I don't know. It just came out of nowhere. And from that, he has to order his thoughts, has those realizations about those details that he did gather. And if he's really not feeling in the mood to do something, he really shouldn't do it, because his spirit's going to be down. He won't be as graceful as he normally should be. And it's just not going to be the proper experience at the proper time. He kind of has this superpower that if he walks into a building and he's like, then he really should get out, because whether it's a job, a place to live, or a meeting, he knows what's correct for him in that way. So maybe he just needs to sit at a different table. Maybe he just needs to go across the street to that particular place and have the same experience over there. Maybe that's where he's going to have the proper opportunities. Who knows? But once again, he is a person who understands what risks are worth taking. Due to his concentration, his determination, his focus, his inaction that has come through, making sure that he's not just doing it just to do it. Because once again, that's going to make him frustrated. So there's a few different things that we can talk about still, and the type of environment that he needs to be in order to be successful is an exchange of information. And the type of people he needs in his environment to be successful is that of people letting him have his space, first of all, and people seeing that when he finds an error or the hole in a system, that it's not to be frowned upon. It's more to be said, yo, you did awesome. How can we fix this? Or, how can we take advantage of this? All right, we're going to go to something completely different that we've never really done in these experiences before. And we're going to talk about his Saturn return. This happened around the age of 29. And even though he's like 38 now, this happened maybe like 10 years ago. It didn't happen exactly at 29 years old. But this is where he was starting to get into his rhythm and his flow. And he got a lot of different lessons about structure, about correcting things for the good of everybody, and struggling for things that are worth struggling for, fighting for things that are worth fighting for. So there's like during that time, he really did have a lot of realizations or a lot of lessons about realizations. There's a lot that happened, and it probably sent him into a whole new different direction in his life. So that probably happened about 10 years ago. And then now that he's 38, because his birthday is in June, he probably doesn't have this coming for him for like another 6 years, but he's going to be having lots of lessons about all the things that he's thinking about and how he really wants to put in all of that work to make his thoughts become deeds, and how he's going to be put into a stance of management because he has found his rhythm and flow, and that he's going to be this really big tribal person who has these like he defends and he preserves his tribe, and he's really good at finishing, starting, and closing cycles. So it's going to be really freaking cool to see what happens within the next 6 years with him. Even though this is 8 years out, the cusp is really going to start to be felt soon. So he probably is already starting to feel some of that cusp, but this is later than most for experiencing this. So this is very, very cool stuff. We can see what's coming for him. He's going to be in this place of management. He's going to be finishing and closing cycles. That's awesome. He's a stock guy, or he's a person who knows about the market. Sorry, and this is just solidifying that he's just got it right in his grasp. All right, so there's a few other things that we can talk about. How he's probably a whole different person while he sleeps and has a whole different experience while he sleeps. But we need to make sure that he's really running his life properly. And how does he do that? He does that by saying uh-huh or uh-uh, or following those oohs and ahs. Or if his body says or uh-uh, then he should listen to that and really decipher what his energy is trying to say about him. Otherwise, he's going to end up being a frustrated being. There's a lot of different places where he can end up frustrated in his life. All right, today we were doing someone different. We were doing something different. And if you ever want your favorite streamer, whether it be a YouTuber, Twitcher, Kicker, let me know. We'll probably end up doing it. You have a great day. Thanks for watching.